All right, I think we're live. Hello, ladies. I'm gonna on my phone check on Facebook and make sure you can see Julia and I. It is Amanda and Julia. Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I got it.
And so happy to be here to get to talk to you about mindset, and specifically the all or nothing mindset. And instead of just dwelling on it and how it's such a problem, we're going to focus first. We'll talk about what do we mean by it. Julia has some really great examples, in my opinion, of what behaviors do you see yourself do when you're in the all or nothing mindset, and maybe you don't even know it. And in my opinion, that is the first step, is to even recognize that you have an all or nothing mindset. Because especially as women, we're programmed to be all or nothing. We're programmed to be perfect or beat ourselves up or give up. So let's talk about what we mean by all or nothing mindset. Julia will give us some great examples of what it can look like, and maybe even the thinking that might be behind them. And then, in my opinion, we'll talk about like another step of what can you do next after you recognize it? How can you let yourself shift mindset? And then maybe we can give some concrete examples from our own lives of things Julia and I have actually been doing on our wellness journeys. And Julia can give you maybe a quick overview of her journey, and I'll give mine super, super fast. I know that could take a while. But so what do we do now that is not a mindset of gotta be perfect or we give up, like all or nothing? For example, I somehow messed up our Zoom being able to be live in the group this morning on time, but we did not give up. Julia helped me Google how to find you all and get on here with us together, and we did it, and we're here, and that's all that matters, right? So before I go any further, though, I talk about you like everyone knows you. They may not. Julia is a member of our Well Women's community. She has done the Faster Way to Fat Loss with me. She is a trooper. She's tried all the things. But before I say anything more, do you want to give us a quick, what should we know about who you are and what you do, Julia?
Oh, yes. Good morning. So yes, I'm Coach Jules, and I do own Be Well Fitness. And this is a hybrid company now after COVID-19. So I do sessions online and in person. I am located in Dayton, Ohio. So yes, and what I do, I work primarily with women over 40 plus, just like myself, and I help them realize the benefits of strength training, moving well so that they can stay active and also very functional so that they are set for success. And of course, I do deal with mindset as well, especially all and nothing, because I deal with women and I obviously have that mindset myself. So yeah, this is kind of like in a nutshell. So my specialty is working on definitely strengthening of the core for back and pelvic floor health. And I'm actually going to be doing a workshop next month. It's going to be in person and online simultaneously.
Cool.
So that's going to be all about that, just kind of an introduction to know your core from the points that you haven't even thought you needed to know.
Oh, I might have to drive up there. And we've got a lot of ladies in the like Cincinnati to Dayton area in the group. So
great. Yeah, I'll send you a link. So yeah, that'll be good to see you in person again.
We'll get the details for you all here in case you want to join, because I cannot recommend enough learning about your core, because it's going to keep you to be an active lady in retirement and not having to worry about things like depends. I'm just going to say it. It's just that important. It is a really big deal to learn about what's all involved in your core.
Yes, and I think it's quite mysterious out there. So we're going to try to meet a mysterious celebrity and work the benefits. But going to our topic, if that's where you want me to go.
Let's do it. Because Julie and I were talking about, well, how do we want to talk about this? And I think I forget, because I've been working on it for a few years now, that some of us don't even know, what is the all or nothing mindset? Why is it a problem? What does it look like? And you had some good ideas like perfectionism. So what do you think when people say, I'm really sabotaged by an all or nothing mindset? What does it mean? What are they doing? What does it look like?
Yes, these are all great questions. So, and here's the definition that I found that I think really works. Really, I could relate to it, and hopefully you as well. So self-sabotage is behavior that undermines your success despite your own wishes, dreams, or values. And I think that word undermines is huge because we're already setting ourselves up that we can't, we should, and we are not allowed, and we don't deserve success, and this is too much, and whatever else we can come up with. And that, of course, comes from underlying beliefs that we have in our culture as a woman. I think that's one. And of course, from our own behaviors and from our own uprising. So, and that undermining psychology that most women have is huge. And I think I always go back to the example that I was like a lot in that self-sabotaging mindset for many years and kind of negative self-talk, which is part of self-sabotaging because everything that you do, that behavior you observe that undermines your success, it's self-sabotage. That's how I got it from this definition. But I always go back to the example that my husband is obviously on a different spectrum. He's super positive. Everything is like as possible, like crazy, right? So, and we were just on this opposite spectrums. And at one point, and I'm sure it's a very popular phrase, we were talking about it, or he just said, I don't know. I think my pants are shrinking. It's not I am getting fat, right? But it's my pants are shrinking. And that's how he looks at everything. So if I go, it's like, oh, I have a belly. Oh, I have a fat. Oh, I go to the gym and I do this. He just looks completely the different thing. Oh, no, it's not all of that. It's just my pants are shrinking. I just need to have a new pair of pants. That's it.
I love it.
So, and that always kind of is in my mind and go to when I start kind of going into that dark place. I'm like, well, how can I look at it from the perspective that my pants are shrinking?
Yeah.
So, and when we really also start observing those behaviors, which, yes, I think procrastination is one type of that behavior because, again, you're trying to stop your steps to success. That's why you procrastinate. Or perhaps like we're talking about the food, all that stressful eating or kind of uncontrollable eating, even though you're not hungry. It's our ability because women think like they have to control everything. And it's like that control freak that holds everything. I think it's also self-sabotaging behavior because you cannot truly control anything really. And COVID-19 is definitely a proof of that. So, but I think when we have that self-sabotaging behavior, it's just like our ability to kind of like, first of all, notice, because if you don't notice, if you don't recognize, if you don't observe, you just keep going, right?
Right.
Someone can point out to you. I think as a coach, or the logical question to ask, what need or what belief that self-sabotaging behavior is serving you? Like if I'm going to go back to that eating uncontrollably. So if you maybe start analyzing and you might just notice like, well, I'm eating because I feel lonely or I feel stressed or I feel unsatisfied. So if you start kind of like, oh, yeah, then maybe you can go back and say like, well, what am I unhappy about? And then you start using logic and not so much like this emotion that is going to take you to that dark place where women like to go. Unconsciously or consciously, I don't know. I've been there.
Yeah, no, I know.
So, and then it's harder to get out of that place.
Right. I think, well, because I think you get tricked into thinking, well, this is just how it is. There's nothing I can do. I'm trapped. And you forget that your beliefs are just thoughts that you've thought enough that you started to believe them. Amber talks about that in Biceptive Babies and Macros 101. I never heard anyone say it like that before, but it's like every thought you have, start to tell yourself, you get to decide if it's true or not. And if you don't like it, you get to choose some new thoughts to think and change your beliefs over time. And I
Exactly.
think as women, like, well, just as a whole culture, like people in general, we just forget because we become thinking those thoughts for so long and believing those things for so long. And everyone else is saying them too. So they
Yeah.
must be true, when really, no, that's why I love mindset work. That's why I'm like, this is worth talking about, because we're not stuck. Like, even if we can never get to the bottom of why we're so unsatisfied and that's making us overeat, or if we can never even get to the bottom of like why we're so lonely and that's what's making us overeat or procrastinate, I love that you could still do some mindset work and make some changes and feel better really fast. That's why I just love mindset work. Like, other changes take so long, but take 8 weeks for me to like lose a tiny bit of body fat. It takes years to lose a lot of weight, but mindset work can make you feel better right away. And
Yes, but I think it's also like building muscles. You're building like that muscle of mindset switching.
yes,
But yes, like first you have to recognize and also ask the question, well, yeah, true or false, or fiction or facts. Like, what are your facts? So like going to example with my husband, because he's all like about facts sometimes more, right? Like if I go, oh, whatever, well, nobody loves me and blah, 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 maybe I should do this business or whatever. He's like, okay, let's open your website and let's just read your testimonials.
yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I cannot go there now.
Yeah. Like,
again, is it true or is it false, right? So, and he's very good at pointing out the facts. Or he just like, and I hate him at this moment because I want just to go into my dark place and just like, dwell there. And then he pulls me out of it. And then it's like, I don't have reasons to go. It's like, okay. But again, what is my need that I'm trying to fill with it, right? So
right.
it's like me kind of dealing, and yes, sometimes I might not even get to that bottom of the bottom. You might need, psychology sessions for many years, but just like knowing, okay, I have this, there is something I'm trying to fill with that. How can I get out of it? Just like you said. So like that will be realigning or creating that. So there's a gap, like you're here, but you still want to get there because you want that goal, whatever that is. Like, how can you align your positive statement or what you're saying at the moment
Right.
that helps you jump there? And yes, it won't take you 8 weeks. It's just a few minutes.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing about mindset work, is that if you're willing to like notice that it's happening, that if you're willing to notice you have the all or nothing mindset happening, and willing to even just try out the idea that it can change. And I think we're both here, and there's plenty of women in this group too who could testify, like, yeah, you can change your mindset. Then you can start to do very concrete things and not have to spend 10 years with a psychologist, and change your mindset, and it will change the results you get, and it will change it'll change your feelings too, in my opinion. I think it's your mind starts to change, your feelings start to change, and your body starts to change.
And then your behavior changes. Yes.
Your behaviors change. Exactly. And the emotion, the feeling changes might take longer, and the behaviors and the body changes might take longer. But it's really nice when the mindset changes really fast. Like, it gives you that, how people say, like, I need to lose weight fast to not give up. I need some like bang for my buck result in the beginning. I think that's why the faster way to fat loss is a fun place for so many people to start, because you start so many things that make you see the scale go down. Like, there's just a big hook to that beginning really feeling good. And that's what mindset work can give you. So that you don't give up no matter what life throws at you. And in my opinion, that's the ultimate tool for women over 40, because at this point, life will not stop throwing things at you. Your hormones are going to be changing. There's going to be menopause. There's kids moving out of the house. There's empty nesting. There's retirement. There is no, there's pelvic floor issues that might come up if you haven't been working on your core. Like, it's all maintenance from here. There's no coasting. Like, so it's really, really important now to have a mindset of progress over perfection, which is, in my opinion, kind of the opposite. That is what I focus on having. Instead of trying to get rid of my all or nothing mindset, instead of like, what can't I eat? What can't I do? I love to focus on, what do I want? What can I do? How do I want to feel? How do I want to think? What are the thoughts I want to think? And I call those my progress over perfection thoughts. And also, new learning for me, a new way I'm naming it is my both and thoughts. Because I think part of all or nothing is it's black and white. It's you're perfect or you're a failure. And so this new both and, I'm like, no, I can be both happy with my body right now. This is a perfect example of the results I just shared in the group the other day. I am both happy with my results from my 8-week cut and wanting to continue to make progress. I can have both and. I don't have to look at the results from that 8-week cut I did and say, that wasn't good enough. I want my legs to look skinnier. I do. I look at the pictures and I'm like, gosh darn you legs, want you to look skinnier. And if I was all or nothing, I would just have given up and said, that work I've done in the fast way has been a waste of time. The macros 101, I did that. That was 8 weeks, waste of time. All that work to cut, waste of time. I didn't get perfect. And I would have given up.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I think that's a very important point, and you mentioned that several times, but we also represent this industry on nutrition and fitness. And if you open any account and follow any celebrity or has millions of people, guess what they preach? 30 days to weight loss. Yeah. 21 days to muscle building.
Yeah.
So they already set women, because that's who really go for that crazy stuff, for failure. Because ladies, there is no short term for this. And if you got it quickly and you lost that, just like I think you posted another post the other day. Yes, losing weight maybe quickly can be possible, but maintaining it, that's where the magic happens. Yeah. So, and if you're here for your body and for your life to show up for long term, don't go for those messages. Don't buy into them. So, and also ask yourself, the lady who is selling it, if she looks, masculine and thin and whatever, all those great things that you're looking for, and she's selling your workouts with band-aids. No, not band-aids, bands. She didn't get those muscles with bands.
I know.
And whatever the meal plan she might be selling you, she might also, it might also took her years, or she might have been already been born with that beautiful shapy butt. Right. So that's why I think just going for your goal, whichever one you're working on, instead of going for that short term, just determine, I am going to get there when I'm going to get there, but perhaps breaking down your big goal into small ones, so that it feels manageable.
I love that idea.
And I think another thing you mentioned there is when we go after something, like you said, that black and white mentality, that's where that whole self-sabotaging happens.
Yeah.
If we go there more with curious and open mind, and also feeling that there is more than one way to do it.
Yes.
And if this didn't work, right? So you've been on this journey for a long time, and you keep exploring and you keep being curious, and you found now biceps after babies, and you learned a great deal. And I am too learning as well. So because it's whoa, it's not I was doing everything wrong.
Right.
No, you were learning, you were doing, you were getting results. But because you don't get stuck, or you think it's the only way, and by the way, if you see those messages in marketing, you have to run away. It's the only way to do it. So, and now we're at a different phase of learning and exploring. And again, it's just having that is more than one way of getting to your goal. Just traveling to Cincinnati from Dayton. There is more than one way. It depends on your destination. And I think if we also have an approach of breaking down our journey in phases. So like, you're getting off this station and celebrating, and then you're catching up to the next station. And then perhaps in between, you might just do a U-turn, but that's okay. This is like normal, what we call normal driving experience, right?
Right.
And then it's construction zone. But if you only know one way of doing it, guess what? You'll be sitting at the construction zone forever because you don't know how to get out.
That's such a good analogy. Like it could even take you longer to get there if you're only willing to focus on that one way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Waiting for all the construction traffic and you don't reroute. That's such a good analogy. Well, let's do that. Let's shift into like the concrete ways we see ourselves. Hold on one second, Clara. Focusing on progress over perfection and multiple ways to get there versus all or nothing thinking. And I was trying to think about like over these past few years, how did I shift? Because I used to be all or nothing. I would like my friends all called me the perfectionist all like through high school and college. And even in getting my teaching career, I was an elementary teacher. So I'm trying to think what jumped out at me. What first jumped out at me, interestingly, was the journey. Oh no, I need you to go right out there that I've had with the scale. I used to think that determined all my success. And if I didn't lose a certain amount of weight on the scale, I was a failure. Then I got into Fast Way to Fat Loss, and they talk about progress over perfection and throwing away the scale. So I did that, and I didn't use the scale at all. And that was like a step on the journey. And now, after done the work with Biceps After Babies and Macros 101, she brought the scale back in and said, hey, are you ready to use this as a tool to collect data like a scientist, like you've been doing with weighing your food when you macro track? And I was like, yes, I am. I love this approach. And that amazingly has been huge for my progress over perfection mindset to have that journey away from all or nothing to using data with the scale was a huge piece for me. And then also my thinking work I do on purpose. Like I on purpose. And I did this, Julia, I did a class with Julia about core. And she shared with us like a meditation, I'll call it, where like, think of you've taken a yoga class and sometimes at the end of the yoga class, they'll like do a meditation with everyone. So Julia shared one of those with us about self-love. So now I on purpose seek out things like that to do. And they're like my brain muscle work. Like Julia said, we need to on purpose work on our new mindset. Like think of it as something you have to do reps and sets of. So I do my reps and sets of my mind training to focus on progress over perfection and both and with meditation and like what I call like my brain training mantras. Like I'll choose a mantra to have and I'll listen to some little like 2-minute thing every morning and before bed. And those I've been doing those all this time. And I really do see they work. Like I just shared about my Biceps After Babies, the Macros 101 results. When I took my pictures and I even got back from vacation and the scale had gone up, I was like, of like, I'm not good enough. I did all that work and it's a failure. I didn't lose enough weight. This was such a waste of time. But I'd done enough mindset reps and sets, concrete work to say, okay, stop. The thoughts weren't that loud. They didn't turn into beliefs. They didn't even turn into emotions or actions. Luckily, I was like, whoa, that's old thinking. I am done with that. Even if it's true, which I had data written down in my little thingy here to show me that it wasn't true. Like I have my progress. I have my charts. I have my numbers. I see my measurements changed and they are down. So
and your results were great.
So yeah, that's what I did was like, okay, I can focus. I can decide if these thoughts I'm having are true or not. They are not true. Let's play those thoughts that I want to have now. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a list of positive aspects from this experience. And now I'm here excited to keep making more progress.
Yes, there's a really great examples, and I could relate exactly to what you were just saying. But I think I want to mention one more mindset with all this self-sabotaging, which I think you probably can relate to as well. For women in particular, I think it's more prevalent to come from the mindset of shortage.
Yes. Yes.
the mindset of abundance become, again, because you're undermining your belief through that self-sabotaging, through your behavior, through your thoughts, what we just discussed. And I think when we think about it, and also like what I've been learning from Biceps After Babies and doing the reverse dieting, because you also talked about and inspired me to learn more. And I think women can relate to that. So yes, when I started counting my macros with you through your program, so I realized I was like really eating at 1500, right? But back then you didn't talk about the reverse dieting. So, and then when the reverse dieting happened and I started to learn more about it and understood the values and the benefits about it. So not jumping, but transitioning from 1500 to 2000, right, was like, oh my God. Because we just like so brainwashed that we have to limit, we have to lack, we have to suffer, we have to not do this but do that. We have so many restrictions that I think women are just so stuck in that, like, I need to restrict myself from everything in order to get to that goal. And the fact of getting to 2000 calories where you feel better, you sleep better, you perform better, you are showing up better in life seems like completely overwhelming, because it's that accepting abundance is way harder than sitting in this shortage space and shorted beliefs that I have to suffer in order to get there. And I think it's just like, again, it's the communication that we receive from the world, and then being women in this world or whatever, I don't know anymore. But I think it's crazy. It's like, and I hear that from like all women. It's just complete like shortage, restriction. If I'm not suffering, I'm like not successful. Eating 2000 calories and I can still like, manage my numbers on the scale? No.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more.
I get all the benefits. No.
Right. And you get
stop it. Just be abundant and like, try to live the world from the abundant states. And yes, you're gonna have those moments, but recognize them. And just like Amanda was saying, just like ask yourself, is it true? Is it fact? But I think what helps is definitely education, like understanding like the research behind it, the science behind it.
Yeah.
So now I am doing my 2000 and I'm like, whoa. And my numbers on the scale, they go up and down. And I'm like, yay, they're moving. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, that ironically, learning about macro tracking and the different phases of fuel intake was a concrete practice that you were doing, and this is true for me too, that led you to be able to have more of an abundance mindset. Like, how cool is it to think of it that way? It's like, we're not just on a diet over here to try and look skinny. We're working on a mindset that is going to make us happier in every part of our life. And one of the concrete ways we're doing that is by tracking macros, learning to reverse diet, learning to live at maintenance, learning why you'd want to do a cut. To me, that is amazingly powerful. And I didn't necessarily see that, but now that you brought up that point, I see that. Like, no wonder I've been able to make these mindset changes, because the things I'm doing in my fitness journey aren't just about being on a diet and being skinny anymore. Like, I've been willing to trust the process of reverse dieting and the value of being in maintenance. And it has brought me hormone balance. It's brought me sleep, energy, a good mood. It's brought me happiness, like, and being able to be happy along the way, being happy even while I'm waiting in traffic or whatever, with our analogy of getting to our destination. Like, I'm not waiting to be 130 pounds and then I'll be happy. That is over. That is shortage mindset. That's all or nothing. And that part of my life is over. And it feels really good to instead be abundant and happy no matter what along the way.
Yes. That's because, again, I think for women, we go into that emotional state, but being my macro scientist and also using and collecting data that you can analyze, because data does not lie. But I think I am learning about myself and my own beliefs about nutrition that I didn't think I had all through this process. And I was completely surprised that even though I was never officially on a diet and I thought I was doing fine and I ate my green apple and whatever, I apparently I had been brainwashed. I just didn't know. It didn't come to the surface. So I've been really noticing those different mindsets and behaviors, and just like my ability to deal with them and challenge myself and to realign them with what works for me and for my success. And with that, I think the language we use to define something or that goal, like I wanted to mention the skinny legs, right? Because yes, women define that. However, skinny legs are very hard to measure. What is the skinny legs, right? What are the skinny legs, like, really? And this is just, again, like, that's the language you'll never hear in any magazine or whatever in guy stocks, like skinny legs. Oh, we're going to the gym and we're going to try not to get bulky. Let's just not get our muscles going when we get to the gym, right? But I think if we maybe look at it from different perspective, whatever like might work for you, like, I don't know if you're a runner or maybe you're a hiker or something else, and you can just use that, oh, my legs are getting stronger, like I can see my muscles, and guess what? They took me for a 10-mile hike. So then that is a little bit more tangible, and also that brings you a sense of that happiness, because like, oh, before I wasn't able to go for like 10-mile hike, I would be tired and have to take all these breaks. Or, you know, I'm going to my European trip and I'll be walking everywhere. So like, and it's because of my amazing strong legs.
Yep. I wonder, I was going to ask you if you thought, do you think, as a specific example of concrete things we're doing in our lives that get rid of the all or nothing mindset and focus on progress, weight training, wanting strong legs, not just thinking about fat loss, but the strength training, I think has been a piece of the puzzle. I think that's helped me change my mindset.
Yes, for me too. Yes,
because exactly. You see your body, you see that the work you're doing over time is leading to progress, and it feels good to be stronger, not just skinny. So I feel like, I wonder what your take would be on that.
Well, I think it has definitely boosted my confidence. And that's what sometimes I kind of go into that route, like, oh, I don't look like her. And I've been doing this so much and blah, blah, blah. That's why I love like this big compound movements of like squatting, right? And especially with heavy weight, because to me, this is the representation of like, it really like reset my mindset. So like if I'm going, I go to the gym and I try to like really do heavy squats, for me, heavy. And that just reminds me, like, what's the squat? It's the ups and downs in life. You go up, you go down, you go down, you go up. And if you can carry that heavy weight on you and your body is able to do it, guess what? After, 3 sets of 10 or whatever, you'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go. Because I think it helps you feel I am able.
Yes.
And when I am able, that means I'm abundant. When I'm able, that means there is more than one way to do it. When I'm able, that means I can show up in life, right? And bring that strength, because it's not just physical, it's also mental.
Yes.
Like, doing those squats and they're heavy, it's a lot of mental effort.
Yes.
A lot of checking ins, like what my feet are doing, what my hips are doing, what my core is doing, how am I breathing. All those mental checks would bring you in the moment of performing this well, because if you don't, it might not end up well, right?
Right.
So that's why you go through your checklist. There is no like curve or emotion here. So like you have to go through your checklist strictly to like, do those points. So they give you that good result, because again, in the moment, it just might not go very safely. Yeah. Or the other big movement, obviously, it's going to be the deadlift. So, but this is the motion that represents forward and back motion, just like squat is up and down, and the deadlift is forward and back. So, and a lot of times, like wherever we are in the mind, obviously, I know I bring that into my strength training, and I can even like see it. So if I'm like trying to pull myself backward, like my toes don't want to stay on the ground anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
just recognizing that, it's like, whoa, my toes just take me back because I really struggle to go forward.
Yeah, that's such a good analogy.
So
Yeah.
this is just me and how like I look at movement, and it becomes a part of my
Wait
re-strategizing
up.
mindset. So, and again, depending where I am emotionally, I try to use strength training to help me reset, because it definitely boosts your hormones. That also helps you kind of get into that right hormonal state in the mind. And then if you look at strength training, the way I go crazy about analyzing, then I definitely come out. I mean, I move better, I feel stronger, I feel accomplished, I feel confident, and I am basically physically and mentally prepared to take upon a challenge of whatever day brings. And if does not go the way I planned, I notice in myself, like, I'm okay. I'm okay. So it's just, ups and downs. If I go down, I can go up. If I go back, I can go forward.
Like you can, I think a lot like, okay, I'm going to have some off days in my workouts. It's so much easier to feel like that and forgive myself. I'm like, I'm going to nail this next time.
Yeah, exactly.
In my weight training than it is in other areas of life. For some reason, it's very easy to like, okay, I tried the best I could today. It was maybe just an off day, didn't get my sleep, but I'm going to nail it the next time.
Yeah, you don't say like, okay, I'll start next Monday. That's why I think when I work with people, especially online, so I try to have them like more options. Okay, so it has happened 3 times that you forgot your gym bag at home, right? That's okay. Like, don't be fine. Okay. So you come home. What would be your alternative plan? Mm-hmm. Can you squeeze a 20-minute walk instead of getting that gym bag and driving to the gym and then feeling bad about it and whatever? You just forget about it. What's your plan of action? Can you spend this time to just squeeze 15-minute meditation because it's going to help your mental state? Or can you go for a walk, listen to a nice podcast? Or, have a wine with your husband or something? Like, how can you switch that, but don't just go like, oh, it happened again. I forgot my gym bag. Okay. So can we plan it differently?
Yeah, that's such a good, that goes back to your analogy of like, having more than one way to get there. I love that. And that is something I remember, Amber, I need to work on it. We talked about that in Macros 101 about like that exact concept of planning ahead to have a backup plan for your workouts.
Exactly.
Because why sabotage yourself with all or nothing thinking? Like, I didn't get to the gym. I don't have time to do my whole hour class. So just do nothing. Yeah. That doesn't do you any good, right? So that's such a good concrete action that you're taking there to like make that backup plan, have a few other things in your pocket you can do for your wellness if it isn't getting the workout done that day for whatever reason.
Exactly. It's just called U-turn. You don't get stuck after that. You just U-turning to go forward. Just like there are so many different ways. And I think that's where I get abundance, because there are so many different ways to move in order to accomplish maybe the same move. Like not millions, but really a lot of ways to like do your squat.
Yeah.
So there are so many ways to do your deadlift. And I think that really helps me feel like, like what would be another solution? Or like, okay, that client didn't get it this way. Like, how can I make it different for them so they get it? Yeah. So, and I think that's probably has trained me to also think, okay, well, this recipe just was a disaster. Like, I'm going to make it different next time. And then suddenly you come up with this recipe that is really good. It's like, that's pretty good. Yep. But all the other ones, they are not failures. So it's kind of like going to the university, like, right? So you're just getting your test and maybe didn't pass, maybe passed on A, maybe on C, maybe on B, whatever. But you're just like getting that muscle that one day it's going to work.
Yep. And it all can happen because of all those things are letting you let go of the all or nothing mindset. They're all more about progress over perfection, or both and, or multiple ways to get there. Like nothing. Yeah. So good. It's so empowering. That's why I think this is so worth talking about. And
yeah, and I think it's a
leaning
really,
in.
really good subject because yes, and really I guess giving a little bit more personal information because I come from Russia and that's a more of a fatalistic culture. So, and when I came to the US, I was like super negative.
Yeah.
Because it's just ingrained in me. So when you do it for 25 years and also you live in a country that's not exactly like a country of choices.
Right.
So I had that always been like very short, very non-abundant mindset, very negative, very like going blah, 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 judgmental. And I was a perfectionist and I was a type A and all of that. And but I married to a guy who was like, again, a completely different. I mean, I hated him for that. It's like, no, there is nothing positive about it. And he would just like find all this, different things.
Yeah.
And then I think just like he was really training me. And I was a very stubborn child. So I would just like really resist because I think, yes, like when you are in the habit of this and it's a pattern and it's ingrained, it's really hard to get out. And I remember it was way easier for me just to get into that dark space and go there. That's it, because it was easy. It was really like there. It was that switch.
Right. It's already like that road was already traveled, that groove was already made, and you're down stuck in the groove. Yeah.
It's like it was my familiar place. Yes. And then he was opening up all these different roads and destinations to travel, but I was not ready.
Right.
And I also had like lots of superstitions and just like one self-sabotaging. So like, I don't know if you guys have that, but the black cat crosses the road and you have to like U-turn, and because something bad is gonna happen and all of that, it's like I'm getting self-sabotaged for the whole day because the black cat crossed the road. And then like he trained me a lot. And now I say, oh, black cat, good luck.
Yeah.
Lucky day today. And I go, and guess what? Nothing bad happens.
That's a really good example, though, of how we get trapped thinking our beliefs are real and fact and can never change. Like your life is proof that you can change your thoughts, and that will change your beliefs and change your actions, your feelings, and your life.
Yeah.
And it's all in it can feel really hard and scary. And I would argue this might be a good way for us to wrap up. Here's what I would argue. We've been doing this work for a while, you even longer than me. So maybe like other people talking about this might make it look easy. And that's really frustrating when you're in a place where it's not easy. So here, in my opinion, is a resource, especially if you are starting out. You've heard Julie and I mention a few times, we've tried out some Biceps After Babies stuff. Biceps After Babies is a program created by a woman. Her name's Amber. She is a little younger than both of us. I don't think she's hit 40 yet, but there's lots of other 40-somethings doing in her groups. Julie and I have been in some of her groups and like seen it. And she is phenomenal at the beginning steps of this mindset change work, in my opinion. Other groups are phenomenal at other stuff, right? Like we all have our thing. This Biceps After Babies stuff, she has a podcast. What else does she have? She has some classes, basically is what I would call them. She is doing a free 5-day challenge. She's calling it 5 days to a fitter you. Mm-hmm. I would highly recommend, and I will put the link here when we're done, that you check it out if you want to do mindset work, because that is her forte.
Yes.
It's not just for beginners. Like I got a ton out of it, and I've been working on mindset for a long time. She makes it very concrete. I meant to print out here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. If you're a person who wants concrete, she excels at making things like analogies and very clear step-by-step work to do. So this wasn't a plan I made for my vacation and how I was going to go to Mexico, how I wanted to feel, what I would do when I came back. This was a big piece of me, like coming back. And even though the scale had gone up, I was still very resilient and kept trying. And that is something she created. And so she has that 5 days to a Fitter You challenge that starts Monday, August 23rd. So that's next Monday. I would highly recommend you give it a go. No, even if you're like, I'm not trying to talk about macros with you, Amanda. I don't want to learn weightlifting, Julia, whatever. The mindset work she will do it will be free, and it's worth a fortune. Yeah. She's going to be live every day doing some trainings, and they'll all be recorded. It's going to be in a little private Facebook group. And she's been sending us little teasers of what the trainings are going to be. Most of them have been about mindset.
Yeah.
That I've seen. She's given us a little workbook, and there's going to be email challenge tasks for you to try out. So you will get your sets and reps on your mindset work. You'll get concrete examples of what Julie and I have been talking about in this. Yeah. So would you agree? I mean, do you feel like I think
yes, 100%. And I have signed up for the challenge, and I love her podcast. And yeah, she's excellent with her mindset creating shifts. But I think, why is it important? Because you can take any other diet and any other strength training and whatever else that is out there, cheaper, shorter, whatever. But the mindset shift is what's going to create transformation in you, your life, and how you approach life stressors and people around you. And if you want to create changes and also succeed with your goals, you have to, boost your mindset reps and sets. In a lot of times, it's going to be painful because we all are fearful of change. But in the long run, you will like yourself more. And perhaps will not go for those short-term solutions because you won't need them.
Because you'll be feeling so much better in the day-to-day. You don't need the quick fix anymore. Like, doesn't that sound good? It feels really good. I am there. I know Julie is there. Like, it feels really good to be in that place where your mindset's gotten strong enough that you feel so good every day anyway. You're letting yourself be happy anyway, that you don't need it to be an instant fix anymore. You're like, okay, cool. I got this. You know, I'm looking at menopause. I'm thinking, all right, I got this. I'm thinking of a 10-year plan. I'm going to be amazing in menopause and so strong. I have skinny muscles. Like, I don't need the quick fix anymore.
Exactly. It's all about what you can control, that you can focus on, and not about what you cannot control. And that's where you also need the mindset, because transform your mindset so you can control your life with controllable things and enjoy it, obviously.
Yeah. All right. I know you have clients to work with and things to do, and I have your workout to do. So it's a new one for the first time. Oh boy, I've been we'll talk about it another time. But I've definitely been like really leaning into my progress over perfection mindset, because I'm switching from doing the fastaway workouts I've been doing for 3 years that I'm so used to and are on autopilot, to doing workouts that Julia made just for me, because I hired her to be like just personalized one-on-one coaching for some strength training stuff. And it's that is a big shift, but it's so worth it. I loved that workout yesterday. It was so
I can
worth it.
You with that, because it's hard to, again, change the patterns, especially you are an avid exerciser. And just switching little things here and there. So I commend you for your ability to create different pathways and different destinations to travel. It's hard.
It's hard, but it feels so good. Great. Yeah. It's definitely a both and thing. It is hard and it feels really good. So.
Oh, right. Yes. That's where we want to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for giving us this much of your time and your wisdom and your experience. I really appreciate it. And
thank you for having me. Yes.
I will put the link in the comments to join us for Biceps After Babies. Ask if you don't see it, just ask me. I will get it for you if you're interested for that free challenge. It's 5 days next week. And one more link we need is the work on discovering the core that you were doing coming up. Oh, yes. I'll make sure I get that from you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it in the group, because every of the 300 plus people in this group needs to do that. There is no one who doesn't need it. I will come do it. Like, we all need it.
Yes. Okay. That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a pleasure always. Well, be strong and be well.
All right, ladies, have a good one.
Bye.